Detroit Pistons select Cade Cunningham from Oklahoma State.
Alright, Pistons fans, so in today's video, we're going to be talking about the long-term future of Jerami Grant on the Detroit Pistons. Now, before we get into that, please make sure you guys like this video. Today's like goal is 100 likes as always, and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Okay, so apparently, according to this new report, the Pistons have a split in the front office on what to do with Grant. So put the image on the screen. It says there seems to be a split decision in the Pistons front office about whether they want to keep or trade Grant via Mark Stein. So yeah, this is actually, if you look at recent history of the Detroit Pistons, this is the second time in about 2 years. The first time we had quote unquote split decisions in the organization was back during draft time. So if you guys don't remember, there was a report that came out that said that some guys in the Pistons organization wanted Cade Cunningham, some wanted Jalen Green, some wanted Evan Mobley. That was the reported split decision back then during the NBA draft. Now, I don't necessarily believe that one because in hindsight, it really does feel like Cade was the guy for the most part the entire time. But the point is that reportedly there was a split decision back then on Cade Cunningham. And now coming to this Jerami Grant situation, they're saying that the organization, half of the guys want to keep Grant here long term, half of the guys want to trade him. And you don't want turmoil, obviously, in the organization. You will always love to be on the same page with everybody in the front office so that we're all going in the same direction. We have a specific plan that we're trying to follow, because if you have too many ideas in there, then that's when things can get muddy. That's when you begin to overthink things and make bad decisions. And obviously it is always fine to, throw in a little suggestion here and there, but for the most part, you don't want the organization going back and forth with each other when it comes to making decisions. You usually want them to be all on the same page. But luckily for us Pistons fans, there was one thing that will save us when it comes to this Jerami Grant thing, and one reason as to why I am chilling and I don't have any worries with this whole situation. And that one reason is Troy Weaver. Troy Weaver will be the man making the final decision. It won't be any of these other guys in the front office. It won't be any of the advisors. The final guy who will make this call will be Troy Weaver. Now, yes, Tom Gores, I guess he could magically come out of nowhere and override Troy if he wanted to, but so far, Tom hasn't done that in Troy Weaver's tenure. So the guy who will be making the final call will be Troy. And so far, with the moves that he's made in the past when it comes to trades, for the most part, he's been successful with us as the Pistons coming out on the winning side of them. So whatever Troy decides to do, I'm with it. Now let's move on to the Pistons fan base and social media when it comes to trading or keeping Grant. Put those images on the screen right now. From what I've seen on social media, outside of my comment section, because here on YouTube, people seem to be cordial, and the Pistons fans over here on YouTube usually have a lot of knowledge and they're more neutral when it comes to Grant. But on other social media websites, it feels like people are either strongly we keep Grant or they're strongly leaning towards trading him. And for me, at least, I don't understand how you could strongly feel either way. You either trade him, you get a young player with high upside, possibly 2 first-round picks or 1 first-round pick, and then you go into the draft, you pick up Paolo Banchero, and then in free agency, you sign a top center, you come into next season with a lot of young, fresh legs, and then you roll from there. Or you keep Grant, you give him the 4 years, $100 million extension, you go into the offseason, you do the same exact thing. You draft Paolo, you sign a top free agent big man, and then add little other pieces obviously in free agency as well. And then you come into next season still with Grant, with a new big man and a top player from the draft. So for me at least, either way, I can't strongly go with either one because both possible options are pretty good in my eyes. Now, if we're talking about which one would get us more competitive, which one would lean us towards the playoffs quicker, I would probably say that keeping Jerami Grant would get us to the playoffs quicker rather than trading him away, because getting that other young player with high upside, it will probably take him a little bit more time to get to a higher level. So if we're talking about playoff push for next season, or just being competitive next season, keeping Grant will be the better option for that. And then lastly, a few things before I get up out of here. I just want to say that next season is looking really, really bright, man. The more and more I think about it, the possible improvements that Cade and Saddiq Bey can make in the offseason, the possible signings, the possible trades, just thinking about next year, it's going to be really, really good. I know this season has been rough so far for us being Pistons fans, but next year it is looking pretty solid. And then the final thing that I would say before I get up out of here, Jerami Grant with the whole injury situation, if I were to put my money on it, I'm going to say that we will most likely see him on Tuesday against the New Orleans Pelicans, which is going to be really, really cool to see because we haven't seen Grant actually play basketball in a very long time, and he may even up his trade value a little bit before the deadline if he can string together a few 20-point games and give out some good performances. So Pistons fans, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Like this video, comment on this video, share this video. Thank y'all for 4K, and I'm out.